I think that having worked in a White House before, you do hard things in White Houses. Well, there are a number of steps we've taken. If you compare month to month, we've seen inflationary pressure or inflationary numbers go down month to month.
Month over month, up 0.8%. That shows that even month to month, inflation is accelerating.
We have used sanctions as a tool as it relates to our concerns about the behavior of a range of countries, including officials in China. But I have nothing to preview for you at this point.
So here is Jen Psaki answering a question as to does she still stand by the statement that inflation is just this little temporary bump in the road.
And we just heard you say again that you think inflation is going to be temporary. We've heard you say that it was going to be temporary since last spring. So how long do you guys think temporary is?
Yeah, how long is temporary? It's hard to say. Well, I'll tell you what, Jen Psaki's answer is jaw-dropping because in her world, things are actually getting a lot better. And it's so crazy that even CNN, of all people, couldn't take it anymore. Watch.
Well, there are a number of steps we've taken. If you compare month to month, we've seen inflationary pressure or inflationary numbers go down month to month.
Month over month, up 0.8%. That shows that even month to month, inflation is accelerating.
Yeah, that's right. It's accelerating. It is not going down or going up and down. It is going up. Folks, when you lost CNN on the left, you've lost it. And that's what's happened at the White House.
Build Back Better is paid for. Entirely.
Okay.
That's Jen Psaki saying that the Build Back Better plan is entirely paid for. Not true. It is not entirely paid for. The Congressional Budget Office says it'll add $367 billion to the deficit. The deficit meaning the money that we don't have that somehow we're supposed to pay back. This next one is when she's asked about sanctions for China, and she wants to know what's going to happen to China if they misled us and they unleash this horrible virus on the world that has shut down our economy and cost millions of people their lives. Here's her answer.
On COVID origins, you guys are talking a lot about sanctions for Russia if they dare to invade Ukraine. What about sanctions for China at any point for misleading the world about the early days of the global pandemic?
We have used sanctions as a tool as it relates to our concerns about the behavior of a range of countries, including officials in China. But I have nothing to preview for you at this point.
Of course not. Nothing to preview because, look, Joe and Hunter have made a lot of money dealing with the Chinese. A lot of money. Millions and millions. I think they're compromised. And it's very, very sad because right now we need somebody who will stand up to China, push back hard, and demand that China pay the trillions of dollars that it has cost the American economy. By the way, we owe China a lot of money. I think what we ought to do is to tell them, you know what, all that problem that we've had with the pandemic that you guys caused, we're just going to erase that debt that we owe you. We'll call it even, and that's it. We don't owe you a dime anymore. They'll hate it. What are they going to do? And I think every country in the world ought to do the same thing. This is Jen Psaki dropping this little bomb on us. The inflation impact. How big a deal is it? Here's what she thinks.
There's something you want to point to that's what the White House is doing to provide short-term relief, like immediate relief to the rising costs?
I would say that a huge part of what we've done has had an impact already.
It sure has had an impact. At least that was an honest statement. Now, she didn't say it was a positive impact because had she said that, that would have been a whopper bigger than anything that's ever been sold at Burger King. No, what she said was it's had an impact. And if you don't think it has, have you bought groceries lately? Are they the same price that you were paying a year and a half ago? What about gasoline? Not on your life. I mean, it's now, I think the national average is what, $4.30 a gallon, something like that. We used to laugh at people in California for paying less than that, but you know, when it was getting up near $4, it was like, man, why do people in California still live there and pay that kind of gas? Now you'd be lucky if you can get that $4 a gallon gasoline.
Oh, out California saw a price $6.99, right at $7 a gallon out west? Yeah.
No kidding.
So the sense is things are going well. There's no need for change right now.
I think that having worked in a White House before, you do hard things in White Houses. You have every challenge at your feet, laid at your feet, whether it's global or domestically. And we could certainly propose legislation to see if people support bunny rabbits and ice cream, but that wouldn't be very rewarding to the American people. So the president's view is we're going to keep pushing for hard things, and we're going to keep pushing the boulders up the hill to get it done.
Jen, can I give you a little advice? You ought to push for bunny rabbits and ice cream because they are a lot more popular than the stuff that you're pushing. And it's not that your boss is pushing hard things, your boss is pushing bad things. Bad things like raising taxes, like making it harder for people to afford fuel in their cars, like having Americans stranded in Afghanistan and basically left for themselves. That's what people are unhappy with. And this whole idea about, and I thought it was a cynical answer for her to say, you know, maybe we ought to propose bunny rabbits and ice cream. Look, we know that the one thing that Joe has been able to lick this year is an ice cream cone. So it naturally comes to mind that she would say that.